Okay, so the direct materials purchases budget, we're going to start there. And we have our budgeted usage, and we have our target ending inventory. We have our total requirements, and we have deduct our beginning inventory. And then that would be our total direct material purchases, our purchase price, current purchase price, and then we have our total purchases. So it's similar to our direct materials used, but it's different because this is what we use and this is what we're going to purchase. Our used does not include our target ending inventory. So our budgeted usage is going to come from up here, right here, 750 yards. Our target ending is given to us, 30, and so our total requirements are 780. Our beginning inventory is also given to us, 40 yards. And so if we need 780 and we already have 40, then we just need to purchase 740. And we purchase it at the current price of $11 per yard. And so our total purchases for direct materials would be 8,140. And so the rest of this information is given to you in the problem. That's our target ending, 12. Our total requirements, 1250. Our beginning is 20. Yeah, it's 20. And so our total purchases would be 1230. It is $13 a yard, so 1230 times 13, 15,990. If you are following along on the answer key that I posted, there's an error. I just found it on the answer key. It's got 1230 plus 20 is 1260, and that's not right. So we've got the right number here. Target ending for that, again, that's given to you. It's 30, so we need 180. We already have 50, so we need to purchase 30. They're $8 each, so it would be $1,040. And then finally, our budgeted usage is 205. We want to have 30 when we get done, so we need 235. We started with 65. And so we need 170. We need to purchase 170. They're $9 each, so that's $1,530. And what we're really looking for on our budget when we get to the income statement is our direct material purchases. That number right there, $26,700. Then the next thing we do is our direct manufacturing labor budget. This one's a little bit more straightforward because you don't have to worry about yards and all that. You have hours and you have rate of pay. And so you still have your budgeted units produced, and we need our direct labor hours per unit. We have our total hours then, and then we have an hourly rate, which is given to us. And then we have our total direct labor budget. So we have two different kinds, two products. We have the Broncos blankets, and we have the Rams blankets. We know that we're going to produce 150, and we're going to produce 205. That was up here where we calculated our production, right here, production and budget. We know that for one of those blankets, it's $4 an hour. For one of these, it's not $4 an hour, it's 4 hours. So it would take us 600 hours and then it would take us 1,025, and then a rate of pay is given to you in the problem. We pay $28 an hour, and so our total direct labor budget, carry that formula down, and then sum these. So our total direct labor budget is $45,500. So we've got direct material, we've got direct labor, and now we have our manufacturing overhead budget. When you do a master budget, there's a lot of components that you have in it. So we've got our variable manufacturing overhead, we've got our fixed manufacturing overhead, and then our total manufacturing overhead. Our variable manufacturing overhead is again given to us in the problem. I have to find it. They tell us that budgeted manufacturing overhead, both variable and fixed, is allocated to each blanket on the basis of budgeted direct manufacturing labor hours per blanket. The budgeted variable manufacturing overhead is $17 per direct manufacturing labor hour. And so we can see right here how many labor hours we have, 1,625. And so our variable manufacturing overhead is 17 per direct labor hour, or 27,625. And our fixed is given to us. So our total manufacturing overhead is simply the sum of the two, or $42,250. Then they ask us to calculate unit cost of ending inventory of finished goods. And we're getting to the end here. Unit cost of ending inventory of finished goods. So if you remember, in every product, you have three costs: direct material, direct labor, manufacturing overhead. So we have been calculating that as we've gone along. Okay, so what we're going to do is a unit cost. So we've got direct materials, we've got red wool, we've got black wool, we've got Broncos patches, we've got Rams patches, we've got direct labor, and we have manufacturing overhead. And with that, we have both variable and we have fixed. Okay, and then we have the Broncos blankets. We're going to look at these separately, and we have the Rams blankets. And so the direct material for the red wool is $11 per yard, and there's 5 yards. Again, that information is given to us. The black wool, there's not any in the Broncos blankets. The Broncos patches, they're $8, and there's 1 per blanket. And the Rams patches, there's none on the Broncos blanket. The direct labor for a Broncos blanket, we pay $28 an hour. It takes 4 hours to make one. Keep forgetting my equal sign. And the variable overhead, we know it's $17 per direct labor hour, and there are 4 direct labor hours in that. And then our fixed, if we go back up here, let me show you this. And we take that $14.25 and we divide by $16.25, which is my direct labor hours. We come up with $9 per direct labor hour for the fixed. And so we can multiply that 9 times 4 hours there as well. And then we add all of this together, and that will tell us what our budgeted cost is for 1 unit. Now this is really important because when we get into some upcoming chapters, we'll be using these numbers more extensively. For the Rams blanket, it's 0, but there are it's $13 a yard, and there's 6 yards. The patches are $9 each. The direct labor, we pay $28 an hour. It takes 5 hours to make one of those. Variable is $17 an hour. And again, it takes 5 hours. Fixed, it's $9 per direct labor hour, and there's 5. And so if we add all of that together, we come up with the total unit cost for that as well, which is $357. Okay, so that's our per unit cost for each of these, based on our budgeted numbers. So then to do our ending inventories budget, we're going to do this, and then we're going to do our cost of goods sold, and then we're going to be done with this problem. We have direct materials, we have red wool, we have black wool, not wood, wool. We have Broncos patches. We have Rams patches. This is just items we have in our ending direct materials inventory. That's what we're referring to here. And then we have finished goods. And in our finished goods, we have some Broncos blankets. And we have some Rams blankets. Okay, so we've got direct materials inventory and we've got finished goods inventory. Go ahead and put that on there. Those are both inventory accounts that are listed on our balance sheet. We also have work in process, but I think for this particular problem, there's not any. We have a cost per unit, we have the units, and then we have a total. So the cost per unit for red wool is 11. This is given to you in the problem. The cost per unit, $279 and $357, which is what we calculated right here, up here. Okay, and then we look at our ending inventory, which was given to us. We have 30 yards of red wool, 20 yards of black wool. We have 30 patches of each one. And then on our finished goods, we have 24 and 29. And again, that was given to us in the problem, so we should have all of that. And then just to get our total amount, it's just 30 yards at $11 per yard. So we multiply across to find our total amount of our direct materials inventory. So right here would be $1,100. That's what's going to go on our balance sheet. And then for our finished goods inventory, we've got $17,049. Okay, then we have our cost of goods sold. I think this is the last calculation. And again, we use that that cost that we calculated. So we've got our beginning finished goods inventory. Which is on March 1st. It's the 1960 plus 2945, and I'm just using numbers we've calculated. Our direct materials used, our direct labor, and our manufacturing overhead. And our direct materials used, that's our $27,135. And again, I'm pulling this from all these budgets up here. So everything, there's the $27,135. Here's the direct labor, $26,700. I'm sorry, that's purchases. Here's my direct labor, $45,500. My manufacturing overhead is right here, my $42,250. So I'm pulling these numbers down here and using that to calculate my cost of goods sold. So those numbers together give me my cost of goods manufactured. Just my direct labor, direct material, manufacturing overhead. And then those added together give me my cost of goods available for sale. So my 49, my beginning inventory, plus the cost that I put into my manufacturing process this month. And then if I subtract my ending inventory, which is 17,049, which I calculated right here. See that number, 17,049? Then that gives me my cost of goods sold. Cost of goods that I could have sold minus what I have left gives me my cost of goods sold, or $102,731. That's $42,250. There we go. Okay. All right. So that's, and we're not even done with the master budget project. We could also go ahead and do our income statement and our balance sheet and pull those inventories, but that's where we're going to stop right now. In part 2, it asks us for areas where continuous improvement might be incorporated. So when we look at this, we look at direct materials where improvement in usage or price could be budgeted. You can read through this in the example that I posted for you, direct labor, variable overhead, fixed overhead. Please read through those and let me know if you have any questions.